When you manage procurement for multiple facilities, every order matters. But when it's for a hospital system, they matter even more. Grainger gets it and knows there's no time for managing multiple suppliers and no room for shipping delays. That's why Grainger offers millions of products in fast, dependable delivery, so you can keep your facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Quick quiz. What injury law firm has been helping people in the District, Maryland, and Virginia for over 35 years? That's right. It's Greenberg and Betterman. Auto accident? Medical malpractice? Get a free consultation by visiting gblawyers.com and feel better.
We want success without sacrifice. But life doesn't work that way. Success will not be shortchanged. You have to pay the price, and it never goes on sale. The best decision that you can make for yourself is decisions against yourself. You have to discipline yourself to do the right things day in and day out, week in and week out, year in and year out. And if you do, the payoff is greater than the price you paid. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening, downloading, and subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm 12 Kyle. Check this out. What I just read was an email that I got from my boy Bobby the other day. Shout out to Bobby. The email was about success, and it got me to thinking about, like, what is success and how is it defined and what do I deem successful for me? Success is very tricky because I think it really depends on who you ask. Society has its own set of standards for what success is, but if you go by what society tells you, you'll go crazy. For me, success isn't about how much money you make or whatever status that you have in society. Because honestly, that shit comes and goes, honestly. But when I got that email from Bobby, it got me to thinking about like whatever levels of success that I've had. How do I view the success that I have? And I think just on a personal note that I want to share with the listeners here, I think I'm successful. In fact, I am successful. I think most of you listening are successful. For me, it's not about the money and the status and all of this stuff like that. Yeah, I got cars, houses, all of that stuff, family is cool. Don't get me wrong. Who wouldn't want to have $1 billion? Personally, I don't have $1 billion, but if I did, it'd be dope. But at the end of the day, when it's time for me to leave the earth, I can't take it with me. You can't put it in the casket. It's going to be left here for whatever, I decide for the people, my children that I leave behind to do with. But yeah, I don't for me, my level of success, I think or at least the way that I view it is different. I can acknowledge that by society standards, I'm successful. By my standards, I'm successful, but I don't let society standards dictate what I deem successful. Here's what I deem successful. Given the fact that I set out to accomplish some goals in my life, most of which I have accomplished, and I'm still constantly setting goals for myself, personal goals, goals as a father, goals as a husband. And I'll be honest, all of them, I don't necessarily hit them when I need to hit them. And, when I fall short, I have to hold myself accountable to say, hey, you got to do better, or you need to do this, or you need to tweak this or tweak that. But I've never defined my success by what society says. The reason being is because society will tell you that, okay, well, hey, you make money, but you need more money so you can be like him. Or you bought this car, but you need a bigger car. You got this house, you need a bigger house. And honestly, I mean, all of that stuff is dope. Don't get me wrong. But I think my ability to earn a check and earn a living and support myself and my family, I think that's success. How much money I make, is relative. How much money you make is relative too, because you could be living paycheck to paycheck. And there are a lot of people that live paycheck to paycheck, and that's understandable. And I'm not trying to cast any aspersions on anybody, because nobody, well, very few, I should say, have it like that, where they just got money on top of money on top of money. But money is a slippery slope when you attach your value to money, because again, money comes and goes. You can make one or two mistakes and it can all go in a different direction. But yeah, if I look at myself like, okay, I went to college and I graduated from college. If you were to ask me, that is one of my biggest accomplishments. Not because I graduated from some, prestigious Ivy League school, because I didn't. I graduated from South Carolina State University. It's a historically black college in Orangeburg, South Carolina. What up, Germ? And no, it's not Princeton, but to me it was. But nonetheless, if you knew me and knew what it took for me to get there and what I had to do once I got there, then you say, hey, that's pretty successful. Very few people know the path that it took me to get there. Maybe one day on this podcast, I'll break it down as to what all, what it all entailed for me to get there and stay there and do what I had to do. Nonetheless, I find it interesting that I worked so hard for this degree, and I have the degree in my house, but if you come in my house, you won't find my degree. Like, it's in a box. And how do I know it's in a box? Is because like I was just looking for something right before I started recording this podcast, and I happened to see it, like, oh, that's my degree. There it is right there. What's up? But it's one of my proudest accomplishments, but it's not on display for the world to see, or anyone who comes into my house. That's not to say that I'm ashamed of it, because I'm not. I love my marketing degree and my minor in broadcasting. I love that. But does graduating college make me a success? No, it doesn't necessarily. But if you saw what it took for me to get to college, and if you saw what it took for me to get out of college and the trials and tribulations that I went through in between, then you'd say, hey, that's pretty successful. By society standards, I'm a success because I've, settled down, got married, and had kids. And, I guess that's a success to some degree, but does it mean that if you got married and got divorced and had kids that you're not successful? No, that just means that your marriage wasn't successful. Doesn't mean that you're not successful. So I don't really buy into that. But by society standards, you get married, you buy a house, and you raise these kids, and what we've done. So, if society deems that success, I guess that's what it is. But I don't believe that. I think my ability to take care of my family is a success. And then when you think about money, yeah, like it's kind of like the Jay-Z line, I've saved and blown bread. Yeah, money's been made, but money is not tangible. It's going to come and go. And again, none of it. I don't care how much I've made. I don't care how much I'm going to make. I can't take it with me. Would I like to make more? Of course. Who wouldn't want to make more money? But it doesn't make me as successful. The ability to hold down a job doesn't make you successful, because again, if you're at a job and you don't own the company, you're expendable. I learned that in business class, marketing 101, financial management 101. Yeah, if you don't own the company, everybody's expendable. So I don't necessarily attach success to money. Does someone like Warren Buffett or Oprah, are they deemed successful because they're, billionaires? Of course they are, but I think what we tend to miss about their success is what they did before they got the money. Now, if you were given the money, I don't know how you could call somebody successful if they were born a billionaire or born to billionaire parents or millionaire parents for that matter. But no, for me, I don't tie my success to money. And I guess the next thing I wanted to talk about was something that came from what the email that Bobby sent me. It's like, what has propelled your success? For me, what has propelled my success is honestly fear of failure. I don't want to fail. And I think that I'm being honest with myself and honest with you, that I've always been pushed by the fear of failure. Fear of failure does not prevent me from trying, but I don't want to fail. Now, failing is, it's very subjective, because what could be failure to me could be success to someone else. I don't want to, I always wanted to do things and be the kind of person that, people could depend on, and that I didn't let my parents down. And I think for the most part, I've done that. But, it's not rocket science, right? I think whatever levels of success that I've had, it's been pushed by the fear of failure. So when I stepped on a football field in high school, I was very confident of what I could do, but no, I didn't want to fail. So at some point, your fear of failure becomes, your motivating factor, and it becomes that, fuel in your engine. But you have to be careful, because that fear can overcome you. It never has, but it's gotten close at times in my life. But I've always kind of, depended on myself. So when you depend on yourself and you push yourself so hard, you don't want to let anybody down. So for me, whatever levels of success that I was trying to achieve, I had to be satisfied with, right? So it doesn't matter what society says. Oh, you're doing well, you're doing fine. Everybody, someone wouldn't chop their arm off to be where you are. And I'm pretty sure that that's probably the case, but I don't see it like that. I just see it as me doing what I'm supposed to do, because this is what I want to do. And I'm just pushed by me. Now, I will admit, having children and being the example for them, that has pushed me even more. So I don't want to fail them. But me failing them doesn't mean, how I work or where I work or how much money I make, because that's all subjective. It's about who I've become for them and who I will become to them, and what they see in me, and whatever it is that they see in me that I can project to them. And the same goes for you. I don't think, I know a lot of times we can get caught up in, the superficial things. You go on Instagram and, you see people and they're having a good time, or you might even see me on Instagram having a good time. But I heard somebody say this, and it's so true. And I can't remember who said it, but Instagram is just the highlights. Facebook and Twitter are just the highlights. Everything that we post on social media is the highlights. Like the day that I got fired, I didn't tweet out, "Hey, I got fired today." I mean, it wasn't my fault that I got fired. The company closed. But at the same time, I was down about it, but I ain't post that. Why? That was a highlight. Well, actually, it was a low light, but still. But we want people to see what we want them to see. But at the end of the day, the levels of success that you have, it's all determined by you. And please don't let society tell you what success is or isn't. Because if you do, you'll be chasing that for the rest of your life. And you'll always be empty, because nothing will ever be good enough. So that car that you got, oh, you need a bigger car. The house that you got, oh, it's not as good as this house. It's not in this neighborhood. One thing I think I've been all my life is appreciative. I don't really have a lot of bad days. And I think for me, when I am having bad days, they come few and far between, but I'm always reminded that there are people in far worse situations. It doesn't take much for me, just on a personal note, to log on to Facebook and, I might scroll for 20 seconds and you're coming across a post of, someone who lost a loved one. And so it makes you look around and say, well, hey, I still have all my loved ones here. Let me be appreciative of this. Or the guy that got in a car accident, post about the car accident he got into, but you just got out of your car. You just made it home safely from work. And, I walk in the door and my kids come running to the door to greet me. And there's people that, really wish that they could have that. Some people just don't have that. And so I'm very appreciative of the things that I have. But I think what I want everybody to understand is that success is not determined by how much you make. It's not determined by what you post on Instagram. It's not determined by, what's in your bank account. It's really about what it is that you do and what levels of achievement that you're getting out of where you were to where you are now to where you're going. And only you define that. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. That's going to do it for me. Thanks for checking out the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm your boy 12 Kyle. We'll catch you guys next time. 5,000.
My shopping style is more stay at home than try in store. So my Amex Blue Cash Everyday Card is my go-to accessory. When I shop, it's easy to earn by getting 3% cash back on U.S. online retail purchases. Each order brings me closer to more cash back. So go ahead, add to cart and shop the latest styles. Reinvent your look and reward yourself with Amex. And try on the Blue Cash Everyday Card. Learn more at americanexpress.com/explore-BCE. Terms and cashback cap apply.
Quick quiz. What injury law firm has been helping people in the District, Maryland, and Virginia for over 35 years? That's right. It's Greenberg and Betterman. Auto accident? Medical malpractice? Get a free consultation by visiting gblawyers.com and feel better.